Thank you. The floor is now open for your questions. I see a lot. I think the first hand was to the lady in the sixth row. Lucia, please.
Hello, Lucia Bellán, El País. It's a question to both presidents. I would like to ask you about the long discussion on Russia last night. Why did EU leaders fall short of agreeing tougher measures vis-à-vis Moscow, not just at the national level, but at European level? Thank you.
In fact, our reaction is without precedent. It's very difficult to prepare an adequate reaction of this kind of behaviors like knife agent attack. We will never have a real chance to respond adequately because we are completely different than the perpetrators of this attack, if you know what I mean. And this is why I was focused yesterday on, for me, the most important political goal, to mean the whole community as united as possible against this very dramatic moment and situation. And we achieved this goal. As you know, there's nothing new. We have different positions, different interests. It's also about different traditions. It's about geography. This political landscape in Europe towards Russia, and this is why it's not so easy to keep the 28 group together. In this context, I really appreciate the goodwill, determination, and a good political instinct of all my colleagues yesterday. I think that it was the best reaction we were able to decide on.
We did agree yesterday night that we are sharing the assessment by the British authorities that it is highly likely that Russia is behind this awful attack. We decided to call back our European ambassador in Moscow, first to debrief him on the outcome and the development of the discussions we had yesterday night, and second, to listen to him when he is explaining what is happening in Russia. This is an extraordinary measure. We never took it before.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, I am not here to comment this situation in details, but as a result of our discussion yesterday evening, I expect that a number of member states will take additional measures towards Russia on Monday. It means that it's not the end of our actions.
Thank you. The next question, yes, to the gentleman. Alex, please, to your left.
Thank you very much. Alex Pigman from Agence France Presse. I'm over here, President.
Yeah.
President Juncker, I had a question to you about trade, actually, and about Donald Trump specifically. Is that Donald Trump seems to be setting up this new style of doing trade negotiations, which is I slap tariffs, and then we talk. And I was just wondering, are you afraid that by engaging in these discussions with him, that you're encouraging him in this new style of doing trade agreements?
I'm not spokesperson of President Trump.
No?
And I don't have the intention nor the ambition to become spokesperson of President Trump. He did not take a decision. He was deciding yesterday to suspend the measures he had imagined as far as the trade relations with the European Union are concerned. I was saying that it seems to me highly impossible to cover all the issues we have to discuss with our American partners from now to the 1st of May, and we are asking a permanent exemption. I'm never commenting style questions of other. I wouldn't say world leaders because then this would imply that I'm one of those, of others.
Okay, thank you. And go here to the third row, to our right, Mark.
Question for Mr. Juncker, Mark Peperkorn, Volkskrant. I just would like to know if is it correct that you consider to step down as Commission President if your Secretary General is forced to leave? And if so, don't you think this will increase actually the appetite for the European Parliament to do it because they get two for the price of one?
As Mr. Selmayr will not step down because I'm the only one being capable to ask him to step down. The other question is irrelevant.
Thank you. And here, Lawrence, to our left, still in the middle, fifth row.
Thanks very much. Lawrence Norman of the Wall Street Journal. Two questions. For President Tusk, you talked about the actions Monday that member states will take, showing that we're not at the end of the road in terms of action. Are we at the end of the road in terms of European Union action, or is this something that you expect leaders will come back to in June? And for President Juncker, so we note that you don't think there's enough time until May the 1st to resolve all the issues, but are you saying until you have guarantees of a permanent exemption that the EU and the US shouldn't begin those talks?
I didn't catch this. You mentioned June as a date, but I'm not sure what we are talking about now.
Yeah, it's just very simply, we will get national actions as of Monday, as you said. But what about...
It's my expectation rather than message, you know, but it's...
Sure, understood. But what about EU-level actions? Is the last action that we will see at an EU level the decision to recall the ambassador, or could there be more? Is this something that you expect us to come back to in June?
For me, it's too early today to say what will be the possible next step. We should wait also for some results of investigations also, and yeah, I will be more talkative on this maybe in April, maybe.
Yes, as far as the question addressed to me is concerned, Mrs. Malmström, the Trade Commission, and American counterparts did agree to establish a high-level working group to discuss all the issues which are relevant in that very framework. I do think that it will not be possible, as I said, to conclude these debates, discussions, negotiations before the 1st of May, but I'm sure that our American friends are willing to enter serious, future-oriented, goal-oriented negotiations with the European Union.
Thank you. And a final question. I think it goes to the gentleman in the sixth row. Michael. Yes, Michael Peel.
Thank you. Michael Peel, Financial Times. Just to come back to Russia for Mr. Tusk, on Monday, how many countries do you think are going to put in place measures, and will it be diplomatic expulsions, or are there other measures anticipated? And for Mr. Juncker, where do you think what the EU and member states are now doing on Russia leaves what you had talked about earlier in the week? Was you had urged a security cooperation of some sort between the EU and Russia? Doesn't it cut across your words earlier this week?
More than one, but I don't think then that it will be the whole group. I think this is what I can say today. So.
I had not the impression that what I was saying at the beginning of the week concerning our relations with Russia was denied by the members of the European Council. Everyone expressed its views, condemning what happened in Salisbury, but everyone was also indicating the willingness to develop, as far as Russia is concerned, better relations. This is not a contradiction. We are condemning, but we need an open channel to discuss with Russia all relevant continental questions.
Thank you. This concludes the press conference.
Thank you.
Okay.